Welcome to day 2 of 40 days of filming a daily vlog documenting the process of me building 2 show quality Honda CB750 Cafe Racers in preparation for a show in Pittsburgh called Glory Days. So without further ado, we're going to continue making the seat pan for the CB750 F frame and just roll right into it. Alright, so right now what we're doing, as you can see in day 1, we laid our foundation, took into account a few things like height and how much space we're going to need and making sure we have smooth surfaces, and then we taped it all around to give that smooth surface. But now it's time to make a metal frame because we are doing quick release buttons in the rear, so the seat is going to be quick release. There's no hard mounted material, so boom, you got to get under the seat, push 2 buttons, lift, and you're good to go. So what we're doing is building a skeletal frame, which is going to effectively be fiberglassed in. So we're going to make the frame, lay our first layer of fiberglass, and then go from there, glass in the metal frame that we end up making today. Drill our holes where necessary. It's going to be about now we have our rear plate right here, and we're going to use this to mock up and then effectively connect the dots forward and make a full metal frame. Alright, now so for some perspective, we're going to effectively be welding this all together. So it's going to come like this. We're going to taper it in a little. Now this is just a skeleton. This isn't anything more than a skeleton. So you can even go on top here. I'm going to trace this up and go from there. So you guys can see, and then boom, I'm going to cut a piece that comes across here. It's also going to go on top. And then basically the reason why we're making this frame is so we can weld in a nut here on the actual plate, the back plate. And so that's going to allow for this seat pan to be fully adjustable however you want it to be. So a big issue with building seat pans like this is not accounting for the gap that will be, if that makes sense. So you don't take into account the leather creating a bigger gap or a tighter gap because there's added material. You don't take into account the felt lined bottom, all this stuff that you wouldn't really think about. And that's the hardest part about building a bike like this, is thinking 40 steps ahead of things that you either know or don't know. So fortunately for me, I've done this 3-4 times now. I can sort of get an idea of where I have to be. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to make one of the best skeleton and seat pan frames that we've ever made. So now we got to mark this up, cut our front piece, tack it in, weld it, and then we can fiberglass this whole thing up. I can't stand cutting metal. It's literally so messy and it gets in your nose. Whatever. Alright boys, so you can get the idea now. Okay, that's great. Now we just have to figure out a locking mechanism for the front. Alright, so this next step is very important. So we're going to go ahead and saran wrap this whole area because we're going to be using resin. And we don't want any of that resin on anything that's already powder coated, painted, or a final piece. So we're just going to go ahead and get this as good as we possibly can. We just saran wrapped the entire bike, or every place where resin could possibly get. So obviously resin's going to drip down here and on the other side, and it's going to get up in this area here too. So you just want to go through saran wrap everything that you don't want to get resin on. From there, I laid down painter's tape, which now I'm going to wax really, really well, the best I can, so we get a good release agent down on this surface. And so yeah, from here, we're going to lay down our bottom base. We're going to cut our fiberglass in the sizes we need it to be. Boom, lay our base, and then we're going to put our metal frame over and fiberglass that in next. So this is kind of the process that we go through. We make it out of cardboard, see the template we want to do, make sure there's enough space below the seat pan for your wires, your M unit, whatever electronics you have underneath the seat pan. Take into account what those differences are. From there, you go saran wrap, tape things down, and then finish it with painter's tape. Now we're going to wax this and prep our fiberglass and go from there. Alright, so first coat of wax down. That should be good to go. I'm going to go a step further and use a little PVA. So now I build belly pans out of fiberglass, so I've learned a bit how to use fiberglass and just general practices. So I'm just going to continue those theories and philosophies, but you don't need to do this per se. I've never done it with making a seat pan. It's really unnecessary. But this stuff just works so well that you won't have any mold sticking issues whatsoever. So we're going to go ahead and just throw a layer down. Alright, so now we're going to let that dry. It takes about 10 minutes, especially since it's so hot. And in the meantime, we're going to prep and pre-cut our fiberglass. That is a one rule of thumb. If you're watching this video and you're about to use this video to help you make your personal seat pan or custom seat pan, this is a very crucial step of, and that is pre-cutting your fiberglass. The reason you want to do that is because there's going to be weird folds and angles and such like that, and you do not want to be scrambling to cut where you need reliefs in the fiberglass when you are laying your resin, because the resin has a cure time. You only have a certain amount of working time, and so you want to have everything pre-cut, so when you're laying your glass, it's methodical, it's purpose built and purpose driven, and you will have a much easier time and pace going through making your seat pan. Alright guys, so what we're going to do now is, as you can see, I have my bottom sheets pre-cut. I have extra sheets here pre-cut just for fill-in areas, and then I have little pieces for the little spots that I might be missing or run up. I have a pair of scissors in case I need to make a last-minute relief cut. I have my brush to dab in all the resin. I have my release agents and my Bondo resin that I'll just be using. You can pick it up at Walmart, it's pretty cheap. So we're gonna go ahead and mix up the proper amount we're gonna need and start laying down the glass. So this is a very, very big step in the process of getting this bike built. And yeah, so at this point, we're just gonna time lapse through and cue up some music. And hopefully you guys enjoy the process and learn something along the way. You! Alright, so now that we have the bottom piece glassed in, that's like the base of the seat pan, we did about 3 mil, which is about 3 layers, and now we need to weld this up so we can put it in place where it needs to be. Alright, time to wipe off the polish and see what we got. Oh, wow! Wow! That's just one pass with the polisher. Are you kidding me? That looks phenomenal. Wow! I am impressed. Guys, look at this. Guys, look at the difference. Can you see that? Look at the difference. Look at that. Watch. Look at that. Look at over here. Look over here. Look at that. Wow. I hope you enjoyed this episode. This is going to wrap up day 2 of the 40-day challenge of getting prepped and everything ready and presentable for the show in Pittsburgh called Glory Days. That's where we're going to reveal 2 brand new club sports, and we're doing a giveaway. We're doing a giveaway with the CB450. Check out the link in my description to see how you can get entered. It's $35 an entry, so unlimited entries. However you choose to, however many you want to do is up to you. But Guys, we did a lot today. We made our bottom piece of the seat pan for the Club Sport F. We polished the trailer, got that all in order, and it might not seem like that was a lot, but that was a ton of work in a short amount of time. And so we're gonna have to wrap it up here because I have to wait for the fiberglass to cure before I can finish welding the metal piece and installing that so we can glass into that. So that's gonna be day 3. Tomorrow's episode is gonna be finalizing the seat pan for the CB750 Club Sport F. Next is moving on to this K, this frame behind me, and doing the seat pan for that. So anyways, guys, thank you for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe and follow along for the 40-day challenge to see if I can accomplish building 2 bikes under 40 days and bringing them to a show. I don't know. I guess it's a challenge, but it's more of just to hold myself accountable. So thanks for watching. Catch you tomorrow. Woo.